In the meantime, I want to go to Kelsey Bolar, the Independent Women's Forum Heritage Foundation senior writer, much more on the role of women and not only what they're playing up on Capitol Hill right now, but how women voters are thinking right now. And increasingly, some disturbing signs for the president. He's losing them very, very quickly. Kelsey, how would you define what's going on, let's say, versus 4 years ago?
Women certainly have a very important choice to make in this election, and it's worth noting that this Saturday there's another round of the Women's March scheduled to protest a female nominee to the Supreme Court. And that really goes to show that a lot of the narratives that you hear from the media, that you hear from groups like the Women's March, don't actually represent women on a number of issues, but they also are out there advocating and against women, protesting a highly qualified female nominee to the Supreme Court. Independent Women's Forum is actually launching a counter-protest to advocate for more civility. Women across this country want civil, respectful debates. They do not want a round two of the Kavanaugh confirmation process. If that happens, it will be a huge mistake for Democrats. Women want to talk about policy. Certainly, healthcare is an important policy for Americans to debate, but it is not the job of Amy Coney Barrett to forecast how she would rule on a specific case, such as healthcare. That is an election issue, certainly at the top of the minds of women. And it's worth noting that women are often heads of the households, the one taking their children to the doctor's office and facing a lot of the restrictions that Obamacare has caused in lack of network, lack of access to doctors, and higher prices. So yes, there's a lot of sympathetic healthcare stories being told today by the left, but we need to remember that the Affordable Care Act is not affordable for millions of Americans.
Yeah, that's something that Judge Barrett had said before she was a judge, that it was misnamed. But I am interested, Kelsey, there's a great deal of support, admiration for Judge Barrett as a person among women. I'm just talking among women, regardless of their political views, but not so for the guy who chose her, Donald Trump. And I'm wondering whether that's just the way it is, and how does the president, or can he get some of that goodwill, because he hasn't thus far, among female voters who have high regards for her from what they've heard already, not so much for him from what they've seen already. What do you think? Well,
Neil, on that front, it reminds me of the vice presidential debate, where we're reminded that an election is not about personalities, it's about policy. And Vice President Mike Pence so articulately was able to contrast the policy differences between the Trump administration and a would-be Biden-Harris administration. The Biden-Harris administration is sort of trying to mask the most extremely progressive policies that we might see, such as packing the courts, such as abolishing the filibuster, which would fundamentally transform our American democracy and our ability to have checks and balances. And so it's important for American voters, specifically women, to look at what the Democrat operatives behind the scenes are saying. I think these candidates on the left are leaving a lot of the most extreme rhetoric up to the media.
So you think there might be a secret, we talk about a secret Trump vote, but there might be a secret Trump, or a little bit more of a Trump female vote than these polls generally say.
Absolutely. We know women face a lot of backlash when they come out supporting the president. We know I'm a perfect example, witnessing violence happening in my backyard all summer due to the protests that the left has not strongly condemned. And women are seeing that. They can't hide that. And their response, instead of going to social media and virtue signaling, they're going to go to the polls and make their voices heard more quietly. But ultimately, when the decisions come in, it will be loud. It will be a silent majority.
Well, we'll see. Kelsey, thank you very much. Good talking to you.